If you're dealing with a compound that does not have a metal in it, it is two nonmetals, then it is a molecular compound. It is covalently bonded, and the rules are different for the nomenclature. We're going to use Greek prefixes instead of using the charges like we did with the ionic ones. You do not have to deal with the charges anymore. Now you just name the numbers of each atom by using these Greek prefixes. So there's a couple of rules. One, that the word mono, which is for one right here, mono is never used before the first element. So if we have something like NO, the name is not mono nitrogen, it's just nitrogen. And then the oxygen, nitrogen, and then the oxygen, since there is one oxygen and it is not the first element in that formula, you can use the word mon. Okay, monoxide. Okay, and that also kind of brings us to a second rule there. If the second element or the element begins with a vowel, you can drop the vowel that ends the prefix. So instead of monoxide, you can say monoxide. All right, another example of that would be tetroxide. Okay, like instead of if there were 4 oxygen atoms, you wouldn't say tetraoxide, you would say tetroxide. Okay, so let's do some more examples here. How about N2O? Oh, and also these all end in IDE. Okay, if you notice that. So you would say di-nitrogen because there are 2 nitrogens and the prefix for nitrogen is di. So it would be dinitrogen monoxide. Okay. Let's continue and do a couple more examples. How about if I was given the name disulfur, disulfur, dioxide, or dichloride. Okay. That would mean that there were 2 sulfur atoms and 2 chlorine atoms in this formula. So it would be S2Cl2. Okay, let's do one more example. These are much more straightforward than the ionic ones. You just have to remember that these are covalently bonded. So you need to really look for that metal. And if you don't see it, then it follows these rules right here. That's probably the most important thing to remember when doing these, that very first step in nomenclature is always going to be, is it a metal and nonmetal? That would make it ionic. It would follow all those ionic compound rules. If it's just 2 nonmetals, then it follows these Greek prefix rules. So let's see if I've got dichlorine heptoxide, dichlorine heptoxide. Okay, di means 2, so we're going to have 2 chlorine atoms and oxygen. Hept is 7 right here, hepta, but we can drop the A because it's in front of an oxygen, and it would be O7. So that's all there is to those molecular compound nomenclature problems. They're pretty straightforward. So thanks a lot for watching.